Okay, welcome everybody. We got a special edition of Making the Most of Your Mile. We're going video. Because this is Making the Most of Your Mile, we'll let you know how we're putting together. We got FaceTime. We got some cheap product that we are allowing to record William and Leo that you see on the screen, so we're excited. We're with William Dyson, Communications Manager of High Five Events, hosts of the Austin Marathon, Half Marathon, and 5K coming up February 17th to 18th. William, 27th edition, right? Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir. It's
Woo!
going strong in Austin, and it's the city's marquee running event.
Love it. And of course, to his left, we got Leo the Lion Manzano right in front of his own backdrop. Hoka One One athlete, which is right here in our hometown, actually, Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Two-time Olympian, 2012 Olympic silver medalist, mile PR of 350.6 far, probably just slightly faster than what William and I can run. And Texas Mile state record holder, 355, which you did at the 2012 Manzano Mile, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Well, thanks for making a little bit of time. And let's jump right into the Austin Marathon Manzano Mile presented by Dole. Very exciting news from you guys. And there's going to be $6,000 for the Elite Field prize purse. Let's talk about Dole and the Elite Field and what you guys are expecting with a good day of racing.
Yeah, so this is a very exciting opportunity we're thrilled about. Leo had a big role in kind of bringing this opportunity together, and having Dole join us on race day is going to allow us to offer a prize purse in year one. And so for our open division, male and female, first place can earn $1,200, second place can earn $800, and third place can earn $400. And we're also going to offer prize money for first place grandmasters and first place masters. So they'll each receive $300 for male and female. So all of that combined is a $6,000 prize purse. And again, putting this with marathon weekend and kind of this year one opportunity is really exciting to attract really some top notch athletes to Austin, Texas.
I love it. And so for the general public, what is a Grand Master?
That is someone who is legally aged 50 and older.
50 and older. All right. So we got masters and we got grandmasters and we got prizes for both of them. I love it.
And we already have a few of those guys already committed, so we're excited about that as well.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, Leo, let's talk about the origins of the Manzano Mile. I know you started a couple years ago with it and went on hiatus for a year or two, and we're back now with the Austin Marathon. Tell us about this event, which, the alliteration, of course, Manzano Mile. I don't know if there's a perfect mile out there. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the Manzano Mile got started right about 2011. Went on for 2 years. Unfortunately, after 2012, well, actually, I think we may have even hosted in 2013. But 2013, as you guys probably know, was a little bit of a rough year for me. So that year actually kind of disappeared. I've teamed up with High Five Events. They've been phenomenal. I've known them for a long time. They're big running fans. They're big mile fans. They know about the mile. Then they also know how much the mile means to the American population. And they've actually also have ran many a mile as well. So on that note, this is something that we've had as a project for a long time, and recently they've taken upon the Austin Marathon. And so when that happened, they reached out to me, and we've been friends for a long time, and so it was something we wanted to bring back.
I think it's such a wonderful opportunity, and it really speaks, I think, to the distant mindset to just continue to persevere. We hear from so many race directors, how do you put on a mile? How do we? It's not something that's going to draw 10,000 participants like you might in a half marathon or a marathon. And so I think having more and more miles out there that bring in companies like Dole who see value in it. And of course, the partnerships with a big marquee race weekend that High Five Events produces. I just think that's wonderful. And of course, to have money and be able to put that in Elite Field's hands, especially so early in the season, what a wonderful opportunity you guys have created. William, can you speak a little bit about the course? We got a road course here.
Yeah, so it's, if I remember correctly, some of the past iterations of the Manzano Mile have taken place at Texas School for the Deaf on the
Hmm.
track. So we are doing a road mile. It is going to be on Riverside Drive. I know a lot of the other miles out there take place on the road, so we're very excited. So Riverside Drive, for those unfamiliar with Austin, is actually just a little bit south of Town Lake, close to the Town Lake Trail. It's also next door to the Palmer Event Center, which is actually going to house our health and fitness expo. So the energy is going to be there, the people are going to be there, the excitement's going to be there, and it's a chance and an opportunity for runners of the 5K, the half marathon, or the marathon to really come out and have something to do and come cheer for some of these runners who are actually doing the timed mile or the untimed mile or even the kids run. So in addition to those elites we were talking to earlier, this is really kind of focused to be also a family oriented opportunity to come out, whether you're doing an untimed mile or not. And so we really want to draw upon the energy that is Austin Marathon weekend here in Austin, Texas. And we feel the Manzano Mile being on Saturday, February 17th, is going to be a great addition that kind of elongates that excitement here in downtown Austin.
Yeah, I love it. I think that what you touched on, the family aspect of it, you hear how the mile can be a stepping stone to a lifelong love for the sport. It's also for those that are running marathons and half marathons, getting out there and churning the wheels over. It's a really exciting event. And I think coupling that on a race weekend like you guys have there in Austin is smart. And boy, that's going to be fun. Um, Point to point, or you got a U-shaped course? What do you
We'll
got?
actually have a loop. So Riverside Drive, if anyone wants to pull it up on Google Maps, there will be a little circle drive right there in the middle. They'll start there. They'll run east on Riverside Drive, make a U-turn, and then head west for about half a mile, and then make one more U-turn to come back to the circle. So we've got a nice course set up. There are a couple of U-turns in there, but we're really excited about the course and really the location that it is in proximity to a lot of the major hotels and restaurants, and like I said earlier, the Austin Marathon Expo.
Yeah, and one of the best things is we also have $6,000 in prize money for. So if there are any athletes out there that are interested in coming out, come join us.
Cool. Yeah, let's get Ben Rosario's group from Nas Elite and get some of those athletes out there. I hear some of them are starting to train for miles. They're trying to get some sub fours in before they get old.
I've seen him. I've actually seen him do some speed work.
What do you think? Do they have a chance? I saw my
I
old
think so.
cool. I'll shout out Scott Smith, who was a UC Santa Barbara graduate. He says he's training for a sub four. We'll see. The kid was fast, but he's got marathon legs right now.
Oh, you never know. I've seen some guys that are able to run marathon 10Ks and they've gone under sub 4, so it's a possibility.
All right, so we'll call that out right now. Leo, hey, Ben Rosario squad, Leo's calling you guys out. You guys got to show up. Let's talk about the running scene in Austin. I think as long as I've been a runner, going back to not to date myself, mid '90s, late '90s, always heard about a great running scene in Austin. What makes it so great out there? What are you guys doing? What's in the water?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is the trail, and obviously there is water. So the great thing about Austin is that there is a river that goes along, or through the city, and it's one of those, very scenic. It's a very scenic route. It's actually it's a 10-mile loop, but you can if you know your way around, you can actually get about 15 to 16 miles on the trail. And so there are different running areas as well. If you want to get hills, you have hills. If you want to get the flats, you have flats, and obviously, if you want to get on the road, you can do that as well. But I think it's just a combination of of keeping Austin weird, keeping Austin alive, the music scene, and then hey, it's Austin, so.
Yeah, and I'd even like to add to that, not necessarily, Town Lake Trail is a gem in and of itself, but the city is just sprawling with greenbelt access, with various parks that have
Right.
trails everywhere. I mean, it seems like there's a new group of runners who pop up every day and create a Twitter feed and interact with us online, and they're in Northwest Austin or Round Rock, and it's just great to see so many people getting together, going outdoors, exploring their neighborhoods, their
Right.
trails, their parks, and bringing their kids or getting their neighbors to come out or getting other family members. And it's great to see. Not everyone can make it downtown. As much as Austin is known as a running town, we're just as much known for our horrible traffic. So getting downtown might not be the most opportune for a lot of the folks north and south. So seeing them kind of take to their own trails and green belts that they have
Right.
access to is pretty cool to see too.
Yeah, that's great. Favorite mile moments? Whether you guys were kids as fans or whether you guys were participating in something. Leo, let's start with you. What comes to mind? What makes the mile so special to you?
Well, the mile for me is giving me many opportunities. During my time at the University of Texas, that's kind of where I became, the mile. I mean, I'd ran the mile in high school, but my prime event was the mile in college, and even on after college. But looking back at all the miles that I ran, one of my favorite ones was the Inslee Car Mile
Ooh,
in London.
yep.
And that was where I ran 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And looking back on that race, I mean, it was just, it was just incredible how we were able. I mean, it happened so fast, but it seemed like it just seemed magical at the moment because it's like you're in there, you get on with the runners,
Hmm.
you kind of fall into the pack, and you just let the runners pull you along,
Right.
and the next thing you know, we're coming through the 800 and probably 154, 155, and then the next thing I know, I'm finishing in 3 minutes and 50 seconds, which was just super incredible, super magical. So I mean, it's looking back on that race, that's definitely by far one of my favorite mile races.
Yeah, that's a really special event across the pond. They got such great energy there. So for you to have your PR at an event like that, I think is really, really cool. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And William, we're just getting to know each other still. I don't know if you were a miler or a 10K guy or a basketball player, but what does the mile mean to you?
Well, first of all, I grew up playing football and baseball, so running was always used as a form of punishment. So running didn't really catch on until later in life for me. But I mean, I guess kind of seeing what the mile can do, even from a training standpoint for longer distances. I do prefer the 10Ks and the half marathons. So even seeing the importance of speed work. Come into play as a part of a training program has been pretty vital, and I'd even say, my favorite mile moment was this past August at an event Leo was at. We started a little organization called Back the Track, which supports the Austin High Track, which is right next to the Town Lake Trail we mentioned earlier, and it's
Right.
pretty much Austin's fitness hub. Everyone goes there to train, whether it be individuals, groups, clubs. And you can't not find anyone on that trail, including Leo himself. And so we had a little fundraiser called the Austin Mile Challenge. I had a goal in there beating my PR of 5:42. My boss Jack Murray kind of laid out a lap by lap plan for me, and it was August, so if you can imagine the heat and humidity here in Austin, Texas, went out, executed it almost perfectly, and I was 1 second off my PR at 5:43. So I was right there. But we had a good time. We raised some money for a really good cause, and Back to
Right.
Track continuing to move along, and we're actually planning the next Austin Mile Challenge. So I'll be gunning for that PR then too.
That's awesome. And Leo, on Manzano Mile race day, are you going to be holding the finish line tape, starting gun, or are you going to be on the line racing?
Well, I think we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Well, in the past I've raced it. In the past, I've also just kind of
Sure.
been like one of the meet directors. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, fantastic.
But regardless, we're definitely inviting all the community, all the elites, sub elites, come out. Hey, if you don't want to run, just come hang out.
Great. And hey, got Running USA the weekend before. They got to stick around,
Exactly.
bridge that gap over a couple days, and hang out. That's going to be a fun weekend of racing and celebrating running.
And probably eat a lot of barbecue.
Yeah,
And tacos.
and that's the beauty of the mile too. Let's be honest. You can actually have some barbecue, maybe even the night before. You don't have to be so worried
Yeah.
about your nutrition.
Exactly.
So I do want to end with one. William and I were talking about, our hometowns here. Santa Barbara has been hit with, gosh, it just seems like natural disaster after natural disaster. And just a few miles from where I'm sitting right now, the town of Montecito is reeling from their major mudslides, and we're doing what we can. And we were just catching up about how things were down in Texas and Houston. And William, you mentioned you guys actually have a great, great partnership and fundraising effort with the 3M half marathon, which is coming up next weekend. Tell us a little bit more about what you guys did.
Yeah, so 3M is coming up January 21st. This was probably several months ago. I forget exactly when. It was within 2 to 3 weeks after Hurricane Harvey hit the Texas coast and did his thing, if you will. We just kind of saw the need that was needed, if you will, by many people along the Texas coast, from Brownsville all the way up to Beaumont in Far East Texas. And it just so happens that a lot of our employees and even our co-owners of High Five events are from the Texas coastal bend. And we really wanted to see what we could do to have an impact down there. So we thought about why not using our races. So we had a drive, essentially. We put out messaging, press releases, anything you could think of to let people know that your registration, if you register during this specific time frame, High Five Events is going to match your entry fee. And what we'll do is we're going to donate that up to 50K to the Texas Coastal Bend relief efforts. And we have an in-house registration platform, Event Dog, where we funnel all of our registrations through for all of our events, and they even chipped in and donated all the processing fees for
That's awesome.
all of those registrations. So in reality, we donated nearly $55,000 to Texas Coastal Bend relief efforts. And in addition to kind of that monetary opportunity, we have supplies that you would not even think of having.
Yeah,
Being a road race company and a triathlon company. So we've donated supplies. We've donated time and effort. Friends and family have gone back to the coastal bend to help out anyone, really. I mean, it doesn't have to be family and friends. If someone needed help, some of our team was there to help them. And we also pitched in when the Austin Convention Center was turned into a temporary shelter too. So we took supplies there. So, it's a little thing that we could do. And it might not be a $10 million donation, or what did JJ Watt do, right? Raised $100 million, which is
right.
phenomenal. But it's kind of that mantra that every bit truly does help, and we were able to help out in ways that were needed and that we were capable of doing, and we're happy to do that. And heaven forbid we have to do it again, but we'll be ready to do it if called upon.
Right. Well, that's fantastic, and I think that really speaks to the community that we have as runners, doing great things, and certainly between the 3M and the Austin Marathon in February, that's another opportunity to celebrate coming together and life, and really, really stoked you guys have joined up with Leo and the Manzano Mile presented by Dole. So that's going to be really exciting, and thanks for your guys' time, and we'll be looking out for you guys that weekend and spreading the word.
All right, sounds
Thank you,
good. Thank
Dave.
you.